So someone had asked me to speak more on the symptoms of these electromagnetic weapons. I've had a few different kinds of symptoms. The worst one, and I think the most telling one, is the burning cheeks and forehead. It's especially your cheeks and your forehead that they just go red and start feeling hot. It's kind of like an anxiety response, I suppose, and that's what these weapons, it's like one of the effects they're designed to have, is to get you in that fight or flight kind of state. Because one of the purposes is to be an area denial weapon. They call them like LRAD, stands for long range area denial. There is also another one called a long range acoustic device, and I think it's probably by design that they have the same acronym, because then people think, they assume it's the more commonly known acoustic device, and so it just adds that confusion that hang on, you're not hearing any sound, what are you talking about, kind of thing. Like, how could it be an acoustic device when there's no sound? But that's a side topic anyway. So the burning face thing just comes on out of nowhere, and I haven't had it that much recently. Who knows why it is? Who knows if they just hit you when you're feeling good? I think that may be a reason. That may be why they do it. Like, I had one instance the other night. I came back from the park and I talked to a guy that I really enjoy talking to, and the creative thoughts came back, and I had like a bit of a goosebump sensation, and in a good way. Like, I have that when I'm quite excited about kind of I suppose spiritual things, so called, and I was really getting back into old writing and that. And then that night, like when I got home, the burning face started up, and went on for an hour or so, or a couple of hours, I think it was. Because one of the symptoms of these weapons is they can like heat up your skin. For whatever reason, it seems to mostly be the face that people feel most affected. Like there's a tiny protest about the rollout of the latest wireless stuff, and a lot of those protesters got the burning face there, so it's kind of telling. I have, when I was out of the countryside in my country home, that was where I was getting really hit. Like, I'd have that burning face for sorry, I'd have that burning face for like much of the day, and also cold hands is the other thing, because I think what happens is it's the stress response, and according to the naturopath that I talked to about it, he said like I don't know if you get the cold hands, the person who asked me to speak more on this, but apparently the cold hands, it's like your body's under stress and your blood vessels constrict, so the blood flow isn't as good, and it's just like an anxiety response. And of course, mainstream medicine and even the naturopath as well, because this guy said he hadn't been down the rabbit hole really, and they'll all say it's this anxiety thing, and probably won't look any further. So yeah, cold hands has been a big thing for me, like just ice cold hands that for hours a day, and then it'll just suddenly, it'll be like a shift, boom, and then warm hands again. And there's all these trauma groups like vagus nerve group, and I don't know, all these trauma release groups and that, and they'll just talk about it, stored trauma in the body. I even heard this therapist guy, Daniel Mackler, the other day, one of his videos, and he was talking about the electricity from trauma. There'll be an electricity build up, and I don't think he's a shill, I think he's genuine, but a genuine person. But yeah, I can see how, electricity, they're gonna say like it's all some organic thing somehow, and you know, even the fact you got massive amounts of electricity building up on you, if you're wearing polyester clothes especially, like they're somehow saying that's organic, some organic body manifestation or whatever. I saw this video last night. I was really shocked by it, to be honest. Bad pun. So yeah, my main symptoms were burning face, very cold hands, that persisted literally for like 2 years after the severe military meth head thing about 5 years ago, just severe ice cold hands. It's interesting, I've made a video about narcissism, and the symptoms of living with a narcissist are, you know, very conveniently pretty much the same symptoms as microwave sickness and the same symptoms as being abused by this technology. So I think that's why they're actually serving up the knowledge about covert abuse and narcissistic abuse to the mainstream finally, is to probably cover up what this technology is doing by blaming it on family members that are toxic. I know there's a bit of truth to that, but yeah, that's my theory at least. And I don't know if I'll post that video, but I mean, there's a Dr. Romani video, the 9th of December 2022, where she talks about the symptoms, you know, the narcissist making you sick, and then all the comments were like, you know, my narcissist causes me brain fog and vertigo and ringing in the head and skin rashes, and it's like, tick, 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 you know, microwave sickness symptoms. Like, I have terrible skin as well, and admittedly though, like, I have had bad skin for a long time, and I know it is like a stress thing, so I can't say 100% that's induced by the wireless warfare. There was one other really wacky symptom I had that it was a one-off thing, and it was actually the day when my home went on the property market, and I literally think they were trying to kill me that day before I could leave. Maybe because it's easier to target people out in the countryside. That's what I believe anyway. You know, if it is ground-based things doing it, it's obviously easier to get those ground-based things in place if you're out in the countryside. And yeah, this is a hard one to explain actually, but I was in my house at night, and suddenly I just got a racing heart. There's the symptom, that goes with the burning face as well. You have a absolutely racing heartbeat. So yeah, I got the racing heart, and then I started to see this big black round, like basketball sized shape burnt into like my vision. Like when I'd blink, I would see this big black shape, like a basketball sized thing. And it's kind of like if you look into an LED light and it temporarily burns the pattern of the light into your retina, and when you blink fast you'll see that pattern. Hopefully you understand what I mean. But yeah, I started blinking fast, and I could see this. I would see this image, and especially, sorry, it was a black image, when I was in the upright room, and then pretty much I walked very quickly through this dark lounge room to get outside, because every time I get outside, it gets better. Like my health gets better. Um, and when I was blinking while going through this dark room, there was just that black image was like bright bronze kind of color. Um, for whatever reason that is, but I think I was getting hit with some sort of strange, like, I don't even know the word for them. I think they might be called like dazzlers, where they like hit you with these weapons that, apparently they can cause blindness. Um, I don't really know what to say about that thing. That was a one-off, and it was frightening, and I had a lot of vertigo, and I couldn't stay in my house for longer than 5 minutes at a time. It was literally like that movie K-19, The Widowmaker, where they run into the reactor and like to work on it, and then they have to run out and they're getting poisoned. And my own home was like that. I had to go in because I had to do shit. I had to cook dinner and stuff, and I'd feel sick, and then I'd have to run out and ground on the lawn, and like write out the effects, and then go back in, and 2 or 3 minutes in, and then get out for 15 minutes. And but yeah, I don't know what those things are. It did seem like something must have been pointed at my eyes. um, I don't know why else I would have that perfectly round image like burnt into my my retina, or whatever it is, for like, I think it persisted for about maybe 10 minutes. I'm not sure. That was a really scary night, actually. As I say, that was the night when my house went on the market, publicly for sale, and yeah, I think they were trying to drop me there. Um, just trying to think if there's anything else with the symptoms. Like after the targeting, I had all sorts of shit, and like it was sadly, it was pretty much like the medical help for the last 2 years. So I don't know whether they poisoned me with that stuff. Who knows? You can never find these things out because the medical system's too corrupt. Um, I don't know, but I had like, lost like 10 kilos, which is a shitload of weight for me, over that time, being organised, stalked, and then had body temperature fluctuations, like hot, cold, sweating, shivers for like 6 months. And after that, I'd just feel really cold, and then I'd feel really hot, and dried skin, shitload of dry skin. I don't even know if it's my skin, because there's this idea that it's like, according to the Lookout for Charlie YouTube channel, Lookout F-A Charlie, Lookout for Charlie. According to his channel, there's some biofilm or some shit like candida that's meant to grow on us, that allegedly contributes largely to the electrosensitivity. I don't know. So I don't know if like all the flaking skin that I had these massive clouds of flaking skin. I'd like turn my pants inside out and beat them on a pole in the golden hour sunlight, and you just see these clouds of dandruff wafting everywhere. And I don't know if that was like my skin coming off. Like, you are meant to get dry skin from being exposed to this stuff, and so I don't know if it was that, or if it was this biofilm shit flaking off. Apparently you can do like Epsom salt baths, so if you have a bath, try that out. Scrub yourself down with baking soda and see if the stuff comes off you. I have seen stuff rubbing off me. like off my forearms and that, even without using any products or anything, just in the shower, and I didn't know what that was. I just thought my skin was breaking up or something. It would just be like, I'd rub my skin with my fingers and the stuff would just start, I don't know what the word is. The stuff would just start coming off. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. So I'm going to get the ring in the head, that's a given. And yeah, dry skin, like I've never had nice, healthy, oily skin and nice, healthy, like oily hair anymore. The hair's pretty dry, like an old cat. You know how the poor old cats get it's kind of spiky hair and like dry and unhealthy. So I get that, and it's been like that since the targeting, 5 years. And I'm sure there's other things, just can't think of it all. Bit of vertigo, lightheadedness, but the severe attack things is just the heating up, racing thoughts is what I had. I mean, they can all say this is just trauma symptoms, but the sudden onset of the burning face, and then the nosebleeds, that's another sign that you're getting hit with these fucking weapons, having a 2-hour nosebleed. But yeah, they all love, like, all the alternate ones and the indie healers and that, spiritual communities. They all want to say it's trauma trapped in the body. There is no technology, and this is why I had to get out of one of these spiritual groups. That's a local group on Facebook for my country, because I made a post there because I did want to go that route and find out more, but they all just, when I tried to mention the I tried to just touch on organised stalking and the frequency weapons. I didn't go in too much depth because of the whole fucking the whole Tulo vibe, brother, and all this kind of stuff. Sorry, there's my patchy bird feeder man fucking t-shirt. I'm just moving the camera because I don't want to be accused anymore of being a bird watcher man. It was kind of funny, actually. I had a good laugh about that with someone I know the other day. The accusations. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, in the spiritual group where they're all like, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, and love and light, and they never want to talk about, the weather modification or the things that we can't do anything about, at least not when we're all ignoring it. They basically said I was like fear-mongering, and that's pretty damn triggering, because it's not fear-mongering if you've been through it, it's fact-mongering, and it's not my truth, it's the truth. There's like shit ton of people around the world going through the same thing without talking to each other, and it's like, how's that happening? And then you got all these people coming out, the military going like, now is the time for directed energy weapons. So it's not fear-mongering, it's just the truth, and they don't want to hear it. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, I'm just indulging, but yeah, I couldn't handle that, so I just got out of there. Like, if we can't acknowledge the elephants in the room, how are you going to heal? Like, how can people heal on a lie? Like, that's the one truth that the therapist actually said to me was like, you can't heal on a lie. And then the gaslighting ensued after that, ironically. There's another thing I rant and ruminate about all the time, well, not all the time, but often, is people talking about healing, right? And they're ignoring the spraying, they're ignoring the frequencies, they're ignoring all this shit, like the poisoning, mass poisoning, and the mass gaslighting. And it's like, you know, they're still talking about healing up, like to like perfect health in this, while ignoring all the massive devastators, and it's just too much horse shit for me. You know, can't. I do wonder if they're NPCs, that kind of shit. It makes me wonder, oh, is a spiritual NPC there? Anyway, sorry, I just indulged. I do indulge in my little tangents. So those are the symptoms. Yeah, I hope you're not getting too many of them, you know. Calm X, the supplement the naturopath gave me, that really did help. It's got all sorts of B vitamins and taurine and all kinds of stuff in it, and it's really effective. It's not like these over the counter, like, you know, generic or mess cheap kind of supplements. It really does help, but it is quite expensive. It's like $60 and it only lasts me like 2 weeks. So, but it really does help calm the nervous system down. And yeah, anyways, I'll wrap this one up. I've got to go see the great Afro Duck.